The rain is pouring and the magpie is casting. Hello and welcome to all my viewers from around the world. Magpie842 here, coming at you guys with another 1v1 replay. Today we have playing as the Axis, Desert Fox Rommel, who is playing as Overcommand here. And his opponent today is going to be sr4czka, who really, again, not doing me any favours there with the choice of username. So, let's see now. Neither player having chosen their commanders off the bat. I have reason to believe that one or both of these players are fairly highly rated, so we might see some interesting plays, might be able to learn a little bit here. As Rommel sending out his Storm Pioneers across the map. Thank goodness Rommel's actually playing as the Axis. That would be confusing if Rommel was playing as the Allies here. And immediately going for the barbed wire. So yeah, generally it's like a little mark of a player who's slightly more used to the game and been playing for a while, is that they'll use the field defenses, they'll use mines, barbed wire, they'll remember to put tank traps, this kind of stuff, which actually makes a big difference. And less experienced, less veteran players will tend to forget about these things and the advantages they can bring you on the battlefield. Mostly it's just things in the early game for funneling your opponents around the place, and then later on catching them out on mines and such. And anyway, the map today is CoH2 Farm Winter, and CoH2 Farm, one of my favourite maps. The winter one, not one I play so often. I have to admit, I'm not particularly a fan of the winter maps. Time-wise, they used to cause my computer a lot of difficulty, and nowadays I've upgraded my rig a bit so I can at least see these maps and enjoy the games. And a skirmish in the north as a squad of conscripts, going to oorah away from these Storm Pioneers, and take them on at a much more favourable range. So, we'll see how Rommel decides to respond. He's just going to hide his pioneers behind this building. That's nice, I like that. It's going to give him the option of either running back out or just garrisoning the building to harass the conscripts, and he's going to run back out. I still don't like that range, so yeah, he's going to garrison and harass. Here we go. I like this a lot better. And I think, as a fight breaks out here in the south, I think if sr4czka keeps his conscripts at the correct range here, this is still going to be an efficient trade for him, just owing to how expensive the Storm Pioneers are. So wisely, Rommel's just going to say, you know, he wants no part in that exchange, so he's going to put it on hold for now by putting his Storm Pioneers to the back of the building. Map control at the moment, if we look at the mini-map, pretty even. Oh wow, look, the victory points are in completely different places on the winter variant. So we've got one up here, sort of 2 points up in the north actually, and one sort of middling on the south. So we'll see how that changes the balance of play. Clearly, a lot of the action is being focused up to the north, where the 2 victory points are in like closer proximity. And yeah, we'll see how this asymmetry affects the matchup moving forwards. These Storm Pioneers now trading against 2 squads of conscripts with support from these Volks. Well, Rommel clearly thinks that this is efficient. Oh, I see. And as another squad of Volks comes in from the north, this starts being quite a good engagement. Any additional support from the Russians is not forthcoming, but they are making a strong push across mid with another few squads of conscripts. If we look at the squads on this field at the moment, we have for sr4czka 4 squads of conscripts, 2 squads of engineers, and opposing him at the moment is only 3 squads of Volks and 1 squad of Storm Pioneers. The additional manpower having of course been spent on the battle group headquarters and the upgrade. Oh, sorry, no, he hasn't actually purchased the upgrade. Oh, he's actually floating 360 manpower. So I wonder what he's waiting for on that. He did just build and cancel that. Oh no, he didn't, sorry. No, he didn't. He was just reinforcing his Volk squads. My bad. Oh wow, these engineers in a great position, able to flamethrower the battle group headquarters, and that is going to be a frustrating issue, as Rommel's forced to withdraw his forces from the northern front more or less and focus on defending his battle group headquarters here. That would be a costly loss if he did lose it, and we'll see. I mean, he's floating. With this much manpower being floated and opponents garrisoned, I would consider purchasing a Ligue, but no, he's decided to choose the Luftwaffe Ground Forces Doctrine in order to deploy an MG-34 machine gun team to the battlefield to help him regain control over this area. What are the Storm Pioneers up to right now? So he does still have one squad up to the north, just capitalizing on the fact that his opponent's focusing all of his forces on this battle group headquarters. Oh, this flamethrower is doing work. How many kills are these engineers up to now? 5 kills, nearly 2-star vet, but they're taking a lot of fire. Their health's going down. They're down to 3 men. And the constant reinforce from the battle group headquarters, enough to sustain, it seems, constant flamings to the face. The MG34 team moving into position. It's been spotted. The conscripts, are they going to go for a Molotov? Do they have the Molotov research? No, they don't. So that's not going to be an option, as these guys, freezing in the deep snow, just going to start opening up, suppressing the first squad of engineers. And how is sr4czka going to keep the pressure on now? He's going to have to fall back a few squads, and that's going to cede a lot of map control over to Rommel as a satchel... Oh, sorry, no, that was a hand grenade trying to get these engineers out the building. They really want to fall back. Fall back, fall back, fall back, fall back. Where's he going? There's got to be a squad wipe going here. You've got to think Rommel's good enough to get the focus fire, and he is. And so taking a look at the forces roster now, a squad of Shocks joining the field for our Soviet player, whose name I'm going to have to come up with some sort of way of saying, so I'm just going to call him, I don't know, that almost has a lot of the letters for Scorpion in it, so I'm going to call him Scorpion. Sorry buddy, because sr4czka is not a pronounceable screen name. Imagine you're playing Counter-Strike, right, and you desperately need to yell to this guy that there's a guy about to come from behind him and shoot him in the back of the head. You're like, yo, sr4czka! There's a guy behind you, and it's like, by the time you've stumbled around his username, he's probably been shot. I'm just saying, you got to pick a name which people can use in communication, and that's not a particularly good one. Just cracking open a cold one here to help me with the cast.
Shock troops awaiting deployment. The enemy has taken our supply
So, a pro tip for aspiring casters out there, not that I feel like I'm in a position to give pro tips, but I found that it really, really does help to not only have a drink, but have something juicy on standby. And cracking into my energy drink of choice here. As the shock troops moving in through the south, they're going to put on some pressure from the cover of this destroyed Panzer IV. That is a Panzer IV. Before moving on to decap some points, Scorpion also applying some pressure up here in the north, sending a couple of squads of conscripts to grab one of the victory points and stop the bleed of points which he has been experiencing. Rommel at the moment ahead by about 20 or so victory points, as the wall of Volks here moving out. Now let's have a look at the tech choices here for the Russian player. So he has just constructed the tier 2 building. So note here that he was able to go for 7.5 minutes without a tech building, and then we'll pay attention to what squads he decides to deploy from this building. But based on his opponent's lineup, which is almost entirely infantry based without any indirect fire, I reckon we'll probably see a Maxim coming out here. I think it's a little early for Zis. Rommel only has 86 fuel, and at the moment that probably means that vehicles from him are a long way out. These Storm Pioneers making a dive to grab this command point here, or at least decap it. Fallschirmjäger is now joining the field. Ooh, I've not seen Fallschirmjägers in their winter gear. Let's have a look. Yeah, cool. Ah, looks like we've got a blizzard on the way. So 50 seconds until the blizzard arrives, and I'm really, really excited to see how veteran players deal with the blizzard conditions, because this is something with which I feel I've always struggled. Okay, it used to be because my computer used to like drop the frame rate down to like 5 or something, and everything used to basically just become uncontrollable. But yeah, I've never been like the best at dealing with blizzard conditions at the best of times. So anyway, an MG34 for Rommel here at the top flank. Going to lock down that section of the map, although I believe the blizzard will severely reduce line of sight. So that MG might be rushable if Scorpion figures out it's there. And firefight emerging here as the blizzard rolls in. You can really see visibility falling away. So blizzard is now upon us.
You can now use camouflage to ambush the enemy.
Thank goodness my new rig is able to keep the frame rate pretty smooth as we move into this blizzard. Taking a look at the... so he has not actually deployed any units from the Tier 2 building, merely using it as a stepping stone to build his Tank of E Battalion Command Scorpion here, going for what appears to be a T-70 light tank, which only one Shrek at the moment the count among the Overcommand forces, so that's going to be a potent unit. There is a Panzerfaust available on these Fallschirmjägers, which may be able to get the engine damage, allowing the Panzer Shrek to stalk the squads, but I mean, that's a kind of dream scenario, and it's unlikely that Rommel's going to be able to put that together so efficiently. Keeping an eye on the thermal, like the temperature thermometer gauges, both players doing a pretty good job of keeping all their dudes alive in the harsh and exposed wintry blizzard conditions. Only the odd flash of the skull, which means that the unit's actually losing health in the blizzard here and there. But both players being quick to put them back into a warm cover or something like that to regenerate their heat. These shock troops catching a nice engage. I don't know, did they want to keep pushing there? I kind of think they did. I don't think sitting here in the negative cover is particularly beneficial. The T-70 has been deployed to the north flank, which is where you'd imagine it would go. And the flak half-track, the Schwerer Panzer HQ, being deployed in a commanding position, able to provide suppression onto 1, 2, nearly 3 command points and forcing these stormtroopers back at long last. Sorry, shock troopers, I believe they're called. The Storm Pioneers doing work in the south, insofar as grabbing land is concerned. This T-70, maybe he's waiting for the blizzard to end, maybe he doesn't want to poke into like unknown fog of war with it, but it's not exactly being very active. As an investment, it's not pardon me, doing a lot. Scorpion, a very considerate player at the best of times, noticing that the blizzard conditions might be freezing his opponents and heating them up a little bit here as the Quad 50 comes in. Oh, this is such a brutal unit. Oh, and it gets the squad wipe on the unit who had the Panzerschreck. The Panzerschreck has dropped though, so we'll see if Rommel's able to recover that as a Rakettenwerfer here moving to garrison this building, and that's got to be a good choice. We'll see if he manages to get a Ketten into the back of the Quad 50 or if the fog of war, let's see. Nope, the fog of war is not enough. That is a Quad 50 in jeopardy. That is a Quad 50 that needs to get out. No! Scorpion, unlucky there to lose in 2 hits his Quad 50. The Rakettenwerfer already being a valid investment. And come on, we've got to grab this Panzerschreck. Come on, Rommel, come on. You know it's there. Do grab it. Do grab it. Come on, buddy. Alright, well, no encouragement from me. The caster is going to force him to grab it. Oh my god, please grab it. Oh, it concerns me. It concerns me that there's a great anti-tank weapon going spare there. Anyway, the blizzard are now dissipating. And victory points now are about 80 points in favour of Rommel, who's been able to keep the pressure on and take out 1 or 2 key units of his opponent, including one which was a moderate fuel investment. And a Luke's being deployed. Sorry, a Luke's being deployed for Rommel. One of my favourite units, the Panzer II. Fantastic fun. Always feels a little bit cheeky. It's got a lot of character, I think. Oh, this T-70 being used for good effect. Is it going to go around this building? Oh, he really wants the squad wipe on the Storm Pioneers. Let's see if he can get it. Oh, he does, doing everything he can to interfere with the fallback path and causing the loss of a very expensive squad. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that in a heads-up battle, the T-70 is going to completely dominate the Lukes. So this is a Luke that wants to make itself a little bit scarce and just fight right now. Let's check and see if Scorpion has researched the anti-tank grenade. That is not something he's... I think, okay, if it's crossed out like that... Oh, sorry, it's researching right now, that's why. So, yeah, he's just researching right now. Oh dear, this T-70 right in the rear armour of the Panzer II. The Rakettenwerfer in a good position, and someone somewhere has grabbed the Shrek, so that's awesome. And forced to get out of there as the Rakettenwerfer says, hey, leave my Panzer II buddy alone. And, Rommel comfortable to settle into a little bit of a break here, neither player making a push, and Rommel comfortable to settle into this, of course, because he holds 2 of the 3 victory points, thereby extending his lead. Yeah, some Fallschirmjägers. Fallschirmjägers fighting in the negative cover here against 2 squads of conscripts, making short work of the first. They need to turn to the second, and they need to get out of that negative cover. Oh, I would just be tempted to just go for a sudden fallback here because, oh dear, I don't like this. You're just feeding veterancy. Get them out of there, Rommel. Nice. And the Panzer II coming back in. The conscripts thinking about going for an AT grenade, but I think Rommel's far too... Oh no, they're going to use an URA. Oh, that's going to be an AT grenade, and... Oh my goodness! The Lukes gibbing the rest of the squad. No AT grenade to come out. You've got to feel bad for Scorpion there. I think that was a calculated risk, and I think it's one most players would have taken. And yeah, that Luke's, those shells landed right in the middle of the squad. And here, T-70 is just angling here. If he can get that, the damaged engine is on. Now let's see if he can stalk the T-70. He's going to come around the back. That's a very clever idea. As the Rakettenwerfer down to 2 men. So what does he prioritize? The Panzer II, he takes out the Rakettenwerfer with the first shell, and he's able to move in on the Lukes, which is brutally exposed. No support, or at least no anti-tank. These Storm Pioneers not even going to serve as a distraction here as the Lukes is run down. And with this exchange, got to feel pretty good about Scorpion's chances. He might be able to push for a bit of map control here, grab a few victory points, start turning around this this score here.
Enemy flanking us!
Rommel able to grab the Kettenwerfer,
Too close!
but it's not going to get out of there.
We lost a gun crew!
And Scorpion making a play for it here. Is he going to decide to grab it? Yeah, sure he is. Yeah, that's a Soviet Kettenwerfer now, and taking full advantage of the... Okay. Nope, the Fallschirmjäger's mowing down the crew of that Kettenwerfer and putting it firmly back in Die Deutsches Hände. And that's a Kettenwerfer that changed, that got like recrewed like 4 times in the space of a minute there. And fair enough too. I mean, it's one of the potent anti-tank platforms on the battlefield at the moment. So let's have a look at the fuel count. Scorpion floating 140 fuel. Is he going to go for another tech building? No. Is he going to invest any of that fuel? Seemingly not. He's also floating like 600 manpower, and I'm only pointing this out. Ah, so he's used it on a call-in. Here comes the KV-8 heavy flame turret tank. Yeah, that's, I mean, when you look at the forces on the map, that seems like a potent choice. That pretty much answers everything. Even the Kettenwerfer, you know, so it's going to get a hit or two, and everyone's going to burn to death. So KV-8's going to be happy to take that. The Shrek Volks, yeah, it's going to burn them too, if it gets the chance. So Rommel's going to have to get a pretty good engage with all 3 of those AT platforms. He's gonna have a chance against the heavy armor of the KV-8, and this T-70 just angling in. It's going to be able to support its big brother here. Oh dear, the Storm Pioneer's caught in the open. That's an expensive squad, which surely is not going to be able to fall back. The brutal firepower, literally, of the KV-8 from Scorpion, burning them down. And here comes the fight. So is Rommel going to get... Okay, yeah, the Kettenwerfer is in position, and it's not going to be able to take a shot, which means that the KV-8 has now flanked it. It's going to have to waste time repositioning it. Scorpion, you want to focus fire on these units. Oh, and a clever use of the camouflage, able to get their Kettenwerfer, or at least prevent it from being burned to death. And the Volks just going to feed themselves into this flamethrower. I don't think... Oh, as the first Volk squad just burns. And the T-70 just kiting at range. This is a difficult situation. This is a really difficult situation. How much fuel has Rommel got? 90. And he doesn't have the ability to produce the Puma, which would be ideal, I think, here. Yeah, it would have a hard time against the front armor, but it could harass this thing all day, and the T-70 is like, you know, that's like a free meal. Ooh. But holding on. Oh, as incendiary artillery comes down on the medical HQ, grievous losses being inflicted here by Scorpion. He's really hammering home for damage as the shock troopers are at the perfect range. The Fallschirmjäger 2-star veteran squad forced to run for its life. The Kettenwerfer getting taken out again. And is he going to lose the HQ building? Yeah, the firepower on that KV-8 sufficient, more than. And now he doesn't have the ability to reinforce, which means that these Volks are vulnerable. He's going to try, he needs to keep reversing the KV-8. Scorpion, get it out. Another Volk round, another Shrek, sorry, might be fired. No, he gets the KV out. With 11 kills and nearly 1-star vet. He's being very brave leaving it here. I would just get it the hell out. Oh, and the T-70, a needless loss there. I think he could have just reversed them both out of there, and that would have been really good. But still, I still think that phase, that little battle there, that phase of play entirely favoured the Soviets. I mean, he managed to pick up a lot of manpower, vet up a lot of his squads a lot, killed the Kettenwerfer crew again, although it is still here, able to be picked up. He managed to get the HQ building, which is always a bitter loss when you play as Overcommand, and another Blizzard coming in here in a minute. Now, in my experience, it's generally harder to orchestrate and engage, like in battles when the Blizzard is on. So we'll see if this is actually able to buy Rommel a little bit of a reprieve, just to regroup his forces, build some new units, take some slightly better positions on the map. To his credit, his veterancy is good on the units that count, and he's got a victory point lead, so he's okay being behind for now. He's got a little time buffer. So, although that last phase of play favouring the Soviets, Rommel is so far from being out of this game, and he's even, I mean, you could argue, looking at the balance of forces, ahead. What he doesn't have is map position, what he doesn't have is the victory points. But look, doing his best to adjust that. The MG34 just being a sneaky little bee up here. Buzz, buzz. And, the Blizzard is on. So he's going to re-grab the Kettenwerfer, because that KV-8 is still a danger. Now it's been repaired. 2 squads of engineers following it around at the moment. And Scorpion still floating quite a lot of manpower, and he's, you know, he could call in another squad of shocks, he could get another couple of conscript squads, whatever he feels like. I'm confused about why he's floating this much manpower. There's a good grenade. Not quite good enough though. Durability of the 5-star Volk squad showing itself once again as the KV-8 decides to come in and take advantage of these pre-wounded squads. Oh, immediately burning 2 models of the 5-star squad. Rommel playing for the Shreks and then just getting them out. A worthy move. I mean, you've got to take the Shrek shots where they present themselves. And he knew he could get them off and still fall back safely, although the margin was close, so fair enough. And if we look at the minimap, control now firmly in favour of the Soviets. The MG-34 Buzz Buzz being displaced in the north of the map. Sorry, I didn't catch that engagement. Looks like some conscripts were able to use the blizzard to sneak on up to it, possibly Molotov it, not sure. In fact, he's just not researched Molotov. Who needs Molotovs? Who needs Molotovs? And is this flak HQ now vulnerable? I mean, the answer is yes, but is it vulnerable enough to die? The KV-8, that's a little annoying that it is. There we go, now it can hit it. Look at the damage that thing does to buildings. The Volk scrambling to defend. Rommel does not want to lose this building. That'll put him back to the Stone Age as far as tech goes. And you've got to feel like... he's just spent his fuel. That's a Panzer IV. Cool. So a Panzer IV about to hit the field in another 15 or so seconds. A fan of Volk's able to deal with these engineers. The Flamer running in though. Oh, dearie me. And the Geneva Convention means nothing to these Soviets. And the flak HQ. Oh, another KV-8. Oh, this one taking engine damage, being stalked by a Shrek now. Focus firing the Shrek squad, so clever, and that is a squad wipe. The Shrek is down in these bushes. It's kind of hard to see, but Rommel's a good player. He's going to grab that, right? Yeah, he knows. He doesn't know. The Volks go right past it. You've got to feel like that's a mistake, or that he didn't see it. And he... Oh, a bounce! A bounce from that Shrek. This is kind of a crucial little moment. There's a big fuel investment tied up in this KV-8. How much fuel is it? 145, and there we go. So that's a pretty big exchange. And the Panzer IV now hunting down the other, which is switched to his main cannon. He kind of wants to try and get that round to the back of the KV-8, right? Is that right? And an Ura. Oh dear, the conscripts were able to get that Shrek, which Rommel didn't see in those bushes, and they're going to be able to try and swing this fight for the KV-8 against this Panzer IV. Here they come. A squad of Volks able to ward them off. That's good, because these conscripts were able to come up through here, get some Shreks into the Panzer IV. This fight, which is already poised on a knife edge, and an AT grenade. Do they have it? No. Okay, so shock troopers do not have the AT grenade, and a squad of Falchions coming out just to screen against these. And the other KV-8 heavy flamethrower tanks gets hunted down by the Panzer IV, which immediately buys itself 1-star veterancy, able to combat blitz now. He wants to get out of there. There's infantry coming. And are these Falchions going to... Was this last Falchion able to escape? Looks like he's going to be okay. Meanwhile, the old squad, the Veteran 2 squad, forcing these... Oh, and that's the Shrek squad! Oh dear. Oh no, he went for the AT grenade. Oh, he gets it, but at the cost of the Shrek shot, which might have just killed it. I think maybe if he hadn't have gone for the AT grenade, because the model doing the animation took up lots of time and then got blown up by the main cannon, and then another model, which was the model with the Shrek, had to do the throwing animation. So yeah, he's damaged the engine, and this Panzer IV is going to limp out on a pixel of health, but you've got to imagine, if he fired that Shrek, I can't make that call, but I think he might have killed the Panzer IV, and I think it may have been close enough to give it a good chance of abandoning it. I don't know. That's one of those kind of what-if moments, butterfly effect stuff going on there. What if he went back in time and changed it? Anyway, we have the Raketenwerfer being stolen again by the Soviets. These conscripts. And I do worry about the army composition here, though, for Scorpion. He's still floating, like, close on 800 manpower, and he just doesn't have enough squads. Like, I'd just love to see him call in, like, 1 more shock troop squad, or, like, 2 more conscript squads. Just make use of that manpower. Because if you look at the map, like, if he just had a couple more squads poking here and there, he could grab a couple more points, deny a bit more fuel. But he has gone for the Su-76, so sr4czka joining the front here, and we all know how potent this unit is at the moment. Oh. Rommel in the somewhat embarrassing position, well, not embarrassing, just awkward position of not having any Storm Pioneers or the or the repair truck. So that Panzer IV is gonna, you know, it really wants to run to like back here because this is not so hard for a conscript squad to make a dive on. Oh dear! And if we turn on the fog of war, we can see that Scorpion here is like, can he see that Panzer IV? How do I change the fog of war to reflect what he can see? Ugh, this is so frustrating. You'd have thought as a caster I'd have figured this out by now. Oh well, whatever. Suchka taking some shots in mid, forcing back the Fallschirmjägers, looking to get flamed. And this kind of has a feeling now like it's getting away from Rommel a bit. Having said that though, he still has 2 of the 3 victory points and is ahead by like 112 tickets, so I don't know. This battle really is kind of poised on a knife edge, and when you look at the forces, yeah, Rommel has the smaller force. We can pretty much discount this Panzer IV here. This just doesn't count, but they're very vetted and well equipped. Fallschirmjägers and Volks with Shreks. There's not a lot they can't take on. This is a curious thing, actually. Rommel is not using salvage. See, that was an opportunity to get 5 fuel. I don't know, maybe he just doesn't rate it, but I always salvage what I can. The barrage mode being used on the Suchka. Where is the Suchka? Ah, here it is, yeah. Falling back in good order, doesn't want a piece of these Volks. And a squad of conscripts, the 3-star vet one, just taking this point up here. So I wonder if we're going to see another blizzard shortly. It's been a while since that last one. Oh, dude, these Fallschirmjägers are just... they're just doing the work. I really like Fallschirmjägers. 23 kills, coming up to Veteran CE. Well, they've just got Vet 3, they'll be Vet 4. If they can keep on plinking away at units like that. Okay, so he's managed to construct his repair truck here and is actually able to start repairing the Panzer IV, so that can return to the front soon enough. And he's not using the 50 munitions. It could be nearly all of his munitions to purchase the MG42 pintle mount upgrade, which, again, just really enlightening stuff for me watching how these players who are much higher caliber than myself are so like thrifty and how they purchase their upgrades at different times. Because I always try to buy the Shreks on my Volks as early as possible, but I watch Rommel and he buys the Shrek upgrades for his Volk squads much later. And to be fair, like, it just enabled him to use a couple of grenades in the early game, which helped him deal with an MG in a building, well, sorry, not with an MG in a building, with a Flamer squad in a building. But garrison troops always a difficulty when you play as over Command West, so useful for me to watch how a higher caliber player deals with these situations. A Scorpion making a big land grab in the north, decapping that victory point, and Rommel going for the point in the south. The Suchka getting some hits now on the Panzer IV. Rommel's got to keep an eye on that, and he does, backing out. Now let's see if Rommel's using any kind of fuel conversion. Yeah, so Rommel's prioritising fuel over munitions right now at the conversion building. As we're moving up to the half-an-hour mark in this game, both players still with more than half of their tickets intact. So,
target captured. Quick defensive position established.
That is kind of a testament to how balanced this game has been between the two players. Oh, I can hear an MG34 firing. Ah, the Suchka has been flushed. Flushed out of cover. Well, not out of cover, but it's been flushed. Whoa, cheeky hit there, smashing a Fallschirmjäger down. Oof, these Fallschirmjägers not in the best spot here. Oh, but they've got a flamethrower. Oh, I hadn't noticed that. Oh, the flump mode coming out of the Suchka here. I think the Panzer IV could make a dash here and get this Suchka. What's it supported with? Only a squad of conscripts. That is risky because they do have the AT grenade there. I would have liked to almost have seen the Panzer IV like run round the back here and just take a few shots into the side here, force the Suchka to turn and then just dance away, hopefully having done about a third or half of damage to the Suchka. Also very curious to me how Rommel, I mean, if you look at his resources, he's clearly on top of everything, he's spending them all. And his manpower, he just hasn't purchased that squad of Storm Pioneers, which I just certainly would have. I just like to have one on standby at all times to repair my vehicles, it's just a thing that I do. So it's interesting to me how he prioritises so low, having that repair capability, and is just happy to limp his tank back to base and repair it. That's it's interesting. It's fair enough, because it means that he has a very strong lineup of 4 Volk squads and 2 Fallschirmjägers, so I mean that is a pretty potent infantry force. Oh, and a Maxim in a decent position here. That is frustrating. These Volks are gonna have to pull back. Oh, they're just getting smitten in the open here. Get out, get out, get out. So let's take stock here, as we're just gone past the half-an-hour point. Rommel back in control of 2 of the 3 victory points, and his score still a good 100 ahead. So he still has a bit of a safety margin. Things got a bit shaky for a while, but both teams took a lot of losses. Notably, the 2 KV-8s going down for the Russian player. He's up at 192 fuel. How much is an IS-2? 230. So you've got to think that's what he's saving for. And if we take a look back at his base, has he even built the tier 4 building? No. So this is clearly a player, Scorpion here, who's confident playing with this commander, has his build figured out, and yeah, he knows exactly what he's teching for. As you'd hope, I suppose, being a player as good as he is. This MG34 not quite facing the right direction. Oh, 4-star Fallschirmjägers here. Up to 25 kills, burninating all the dudes. Little squad cap there in the south. They're going to run forward and burninate these dudes. Look how confident he is with them. It's like what you need to be doing right now, conscripts, is dying. Do the Bernie dance. I can hear the sr4czka flumping that MG34. He's going to get on out. Flumpany of heroes. That's what he's doing here. And, the Panzer IV suffering engine damage up to 2-star vet. See now, some Storm Pioneers have been purchased, and they're just arriving on the field now, so hopefully they're going to be able to go to the Panzer IV in situ and repair it, and this is going to mean that he can cycle his Panzer IV a lot quicker, because he's had the Panzer IV alive for quite a lot of time, and when it's active, it's been fantastic. It just has probably spent 2/3 of its time being inactive, limping to and from or being repaired at the very slow repair rate of the repair truck. With these Storm Pioneers, with their ability to repair it in situ and also to repair it at a much faster rate, he's going to be able to be more active with this Panzer IV. Ooh, I'm worried about engaging with the Panzer IV here. He knows the sr4czka's here. He's going to hide using this church here to block line of sight to the Panzer IV from the sr4czka. Just use its main cannon to support here. Now, Rommel up to 92 munitions. Now, the question is he going to save that for abilities? Is he going to use it for a Shrek on one of his Volk squads? Or is he going to buy the MG42 pintle mount? Personally, I'm a fan of the MG42 pintle mount. It makes the Panzer IV, yeah, it does a lot more damage against infantry, but that's really only half of it. What it really does is allow your Panzer IV to vet up a lot faster, and once the Panzer IV starts getting to 3, 4, 5-star, it starts being really scary. I mean, he's already done the hardest bit, which is getting it to 2-star, and now it's kind of, now it's quicker, now it's got the combat blitz to get out of trouble quicker. Ooh, the sr4czka getting a cheeky hit into the Panzer IV, but forced away by a Shrek on a Volk. Scorpion now beginning to spend some of this manpower he's been floating, and if we have a look at his army, he's up to 3 squads of conscripts, so yeah, buying another couple squads of conscripts, get 2 Maxims mixed in there, still got the Kettenwerfer, and now the IS-2 entering the field. And let's see what effect this has on the battlefield, and you've got a field with 250 munitions. Yep, there it is, the Danzak purchase. I know it's actually called a Dushka, but because it's so spicy, I like to call it the Danzak. And coming out, it wants a piece of the Panzer IV, you can imagine it does. Wow, he's just going to run on out into a concave of Panzer Shreks and a Panzer IV. I don't like this. Keep backing up, buddy. Oh, I don't like this at all. Another Blizzard coming in. Yeah, it's a great tank, and you can be quite cocky with it, but I don't like just running it out into fog of war and then finding like a concave of Volks and a Panzer IV plinking away at you. That's the kind of way you can just throw away a fantastic, magnificent unit really quick. Oh, just be careful, buddy. Just be careful. Like, a really good option, instead of just poking here, would have been just to drive it around this side of the church here, because then the concave of Volks doesn't see it and it can just pick on the Panzer IV. So I like that option a lot more, and if you're being proper sneaky, you could take it all the way up here and come around here. Oops, so you go up here, around here, and then come in from here, and then you're into the rear of the Panzer IV, and you might even find like a couple of squads of, I don't know, could find an MG or a Storm Pioneer squad with their pants down, you know. That's the kind of unexpected IS-2 that you never, as a German player, want to see coming out of the fog of war. But, you know, hey, I'm sitting here at my computer being a caster with all the information at my fingertips, whereas Scorpion has to make the best decisions available to him. So, and it didn't go terribly. Anyway, Panzer IV pushing up on the right flank. Rommel has spent those munitions on another Shrek for his Volks, so he now has 4 squads of Volks with the Shreks, and commanding just one of the 3 victory points. His lead, 163 tickets at present, but declining. This sr4czka being used to good effect now, almost 3-star. This IS-2, again, just trading for Shreks, trading with these Volks. I've not really used the IS-2 very often, so I can't comment on whether this is really the best way to use it. Maybe Soviet players with any experience, maybe you could fill me in on this. I don't know, I just feel like I'd be being more sneaky with it. Because you pretty much know what the forces of Rommel are at this point. You've been fighting them the whole game, and okay, he's just gotten a Rakettenwerfer, but up until then there hasn't been a Rakettenwerfer, which means that his best anti-tank is pretty much the Shreks on the Volks, and that's something which the IS-2 can outrun, can play around, and the only other thing is the Panzer IV, and if he commits that to the IS-2, well, that's a fight you won. So yeah, especially if you were to bring the sr4czka up to, like, I don't know, here, and then use the IS-2 and other sort of like, if I use the minimap to indicate, like, just to sort of, it gives it 2 raiding paths here and here, with the sr4czka position here, that would just be pretty cool. And it's also where the 2 victory points are, so you can bring, like, your infantry up here, because, like, holding this part of the map, yeah, that's all good and well. There's only 1 victory point here, though. And even that, to be fair, you're not really holding, so having your forces concentrated here, I just think if you were to relocate them to here, then you could be eating away into this victory point lead. So as it is, it's almost like Scorpion, he's kind of like fighting better than the scores reflect, because he's fighting over the wrong part of the map, it feels like to me. Again, easy for me to make criticisms. I'm sitting up here in my omnipotent, well, chair at my desk, but you know, my omnipotent caster's perspective, so. Yep, very easy for me to make these recommendations. But for the record, I would have died if I was playing against Rommel a long time ago. And I probably would have died if I was playing against Scorpion too. So what I'm saying is these 2 players are better than me. Oh, okay, so if that shell had landed in these Volks, that would have been really good. And the Volks are going to flank around the building. This is an IS-2 that's in danger now. Oh, but a good flump from the sr4czka. Able to turn those Volksgrenadiers back. Oh dear, that's horrible blobbing here. Get out! That's a 5-star squad! Get out! Get out! Oh, and the Panzer IV coming in from the flank here. I'm not sure if I like this or not. The sr4czka's going to turn and take a shot. Yeah, that's now dead. That's a loss. I like where Rommel was coming from. I like the sneaky flank. But it was easy for Scorpion to turn aside just by turning his sr4czka to the north and backing this out, coming in with these conscripts. Maybe Rommel felt like he had to make a gambit there to try and take down the half-health IS-2, and maybe that was the best window he was going to get for it, so he thought, yeah, sure, I'll take a punt with my Panzer. And Rommel, up to like nearly 260 fuel here, so I wonder, he's only at 42 unit cap, 40 now. Does that really add up? 6, 12, 24. Yeah, it does. Wow. So bringing forward a truck, I just think with 260 fuel, he could be better. He could be well served just getting a Puma and using that to plink away, because the Puma could dance with the sr4czka and win if it gets any kind of a flank very easily. A Puma can harass an IS-2 with the aim target shot when you get it to Vet 1, and it can just harass an IS-2 anyway because it outranges it. Actually, well, I think it does, and it definitely outline of sights it. Or he could just dump 100 fuel into, you know, a Stuka-Zafus, the good old Werferman. Start making Scorpion think a little bit harder about where he's putting his forces and how, just keeping him on his toes. But, you know, having said that, maybe Rommel doesn't really want to displace him from this location, because although this is a fine location to hold on the summer version of the map, on the winter version of the map, well, Rommel's actually quietly winning. Pretty much because Scorpion is committing to this point here. So maybe he doesn't want to make Scorpion think twice about holding that point. Maybe he's happy for him to be there. That I can understand. Hang on a second. A little bit of equipment malfunction here with my chair. There we go. So a Maxim here in a decent position on the south flank. Oh, as the sr4czka rounds lumping in, and that Rommel lucky not to be squad wiped there.
They have a flamethrower.
And the construction truck being forced back, the Schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper being forced back. These Volks have not been recrewed. They have not been reinforced. Come on, chaps. Reinforce. You know what would be a really good choice right now? Wait, where's Rommel's fuel gone? Help me understand. How is he building a King Tiger? That is a King Tiger, right? How is he building that? He doesn't have all 4 of his buildings. Okay.
King Tiger, reporting for combat.
Oh, what? So you don't actually need to have all 4 of your Schwerer Wehrmachtschleppers deployed as the buildings, you just need to have built them at some point in the game. Oh god. Well, either they patched that or I just have been playing the Overcommand wrong all this time. This is what I mean about learning stuff from players who are good at the game. Wow, so I just thought he was stacking up fuel and was going to try and deploy his truck here as a regimental headquarters and then get the like a Jagdpanther out or something. But no, he just knew. He knew that he could build this King Tiger, and it's in a risky position, down to half health already. I don't like trading against these two. Oh, this is so risky. But I guess if Rommel needs to take a risk, now's the time, looking at the map, looking at the units, looking at the amount of control. Oh my god! I'm not sure I would have committed the King Tiger in that location myself. Again, I mean, if he just... I know it's an incredibly slow unit, but if he takes it round here, he can use these 2 line of sight blockers in this building and this building to just take on 1 at a time of these by just jigging and dancing. And I know it's not a jiggy-dancy unit, but you can just kind of poke it here, take a shot, poke it here, take a shot, force the Russian player to move the sr4czka, which it doesn't really want to do. Far be it for me to question the play of Rommel, but... And he has at least achieved the mission of that King Tiger, which was to buy himself a reprieve here. Just buy himself a bit of time to get back out on the map. He's still ahead by 140 odd victory points, so he can still... you know, it's not like utterly lethal that he's ceded this amount of control on the map. And an incendiary barrage coming down here in a decent position. Not enough actually, only killing 1 Volksgrenadier. Oh my god, the sr4czka rounds. You don't want to stand there, boys. The sr4czka rounds hitting in for good effect. The game now coming up to being 3/4 of an hour old, and these 2 players both still in it. Scorpion taking a commanding position on the battlefield, up to 162 fuel. Oh, that's right, yeah, as of the most recent patch, you can't have 2 IS-2s out at the same time. So, oh, and the King Tiger is going to come out onto the field in a weakened state, not fully repaired. And is he going to buy the MG42 for it? Now, this one he will. And this, I think, is fair enough, because the MG42 on a King Tiger is like some kind of brutal. You'll see, like, the amount of infantry it mows down is just, like, it's pretty high. The King Tiger is like a mobile slaughterhouse, and giving it 1 extra gun with its damage and stats and accuracy is, yeah, it's something you want to do if you can. And Rommel now grabbing 2 out of the 3 victory points, 1 to the north, 1 to the south. Able to apply pressure and, most importantly, stabilize his victory points, which he has been hemorrhaging somewhat. Ooh, now the Volk squad's coming in here, out of the arc of the Maxim. He realizes this. Maybe if he can get 1 into this building... Get 1 into the building. Ah, cunning use of, what's this one called? Sprint. Cunning use of sprint there to just get the Maxim out and repositioning it so it covers this this approach. The Volk slinking back, not wanting to get suppressed, as you would hope and expect. Where are his storm pioneers? Okay, they're falling back to rearm, to reinforce even. And, yeah, this Storm Tiger definitely changing the balance of power. I wonder... Oh, there's another quad 50. Oh, that's going to get fausted, surely. Oh my goodness, look at that damage this thing does. Yeah, I suppose they're sitting in negative cover, which you never want to do. Come on. Oh, his engine's damaged, of course. There's no chase. That could have been a squad wipe if his engine wasn't damaged. Almost getting 1-star vet there just from mowing down that squad. And Scorpion trying to grab 1 of the victory points back, making a commitment to grab the north one as well. This Flame squad probably going to be able to push these 5-star Volks back. Maybe if it just... Oh, that's not... Does that count as cover? No. So maybe not able to. The King Tiger awkwardly exposing its side armour here to the IS-2 a little.
Point secure.
But hey, you've got to move it around somehow. Are those Storm Pioneers on their way to repair it? I really hope so. Let's have a look.
Verify mine detected.
Yeah, they're just coming out now. Oh, this Fallschirmjäger, he wants to reinforce before he comes out. And Rommel, again, like if you just look at the map, right? It's a almost 50-50 map control. Like it effectively is 50-50 map control. But by holding this location instead of moving north and holding this location, Scorpion is actually still losing. Now, like I don't know if I'm right about this, but I just think if he was to hold a different location, oh, frangible smoke, nice use, nice use. Oh, and is he going to take advantage of this to just poke the king through? Oh, I like it. Oh, was that an attack ground?
Contact.
I rather suspect it was. Yeah, if Scorpion was to just shift his forces up to here, I reckon he could quite handily control these 2 points and turn around the score a little bit. A little bit Cold War-y, a little bit stalematey. Both forces like circling like sumo wrestlers. You've got to feel there's going to be a fight soon where the IS-2 and the King Tiger are going to get committed. Make that stage, make that commitment. That's that step in their relationship. Oof. What does it get at 1-star veterancy? Secure mode veteran ability. Wow! Yeah, because if there's one thing you definitely want to do with your endgame heavy tank, it's capture points. Yeah, that's something I really hope that they rework. Just to make the Soviets a more interesting, like, faction. Because I think on a T-70, even a T-34, that's a cool ability. On an IS-2, less so. These Fallschirms are kind of sprinting into a Flamer and a load of conscripts here. Maybe Rommel's attention elsewhere. Or maybe they're just positioning for some frangy. There they are, there's the frangible smoke. Oh no, it's a bundle charge. Oh no, it's a frangible. I didn't realise there was a fuse. No, that was a bundle grenade. That's just how it looks when it blows up in snow. My bad. And Rommel still commanding 2 of the victory points as a blizzard rolls in. Now, I wonder if the players are going to use this blizzard to set up for the battle, which one has to suspect is going to be probably the deciding battle of the game. Ooh, an Su-85 coming out for Scorpion. That's a good choice. I like the Su-85. It has focused sights, so it's got a good long range and it can spot for itself and the sr4czka, and it's just a good plinker. And with some good micro, you know, if you kite with that thing correctly, it is still pretty good. A lot of people are knocking on it right now because the sr4czka basically has the same gun but for like half the price. But I'm still a fan of the Su-85, maybe just because I'm used to using them and I just enjoy them. But yeah, having the focus sight ability, combined also with its like rate of fire, which once it gets to Vet 2 and 3, it starts to get really good. Yeah, I like the Su-85. It's still really squishy though, so we'll see how long it lasts. IS-2 making a move in the blizzard. Able to take out the Rakettenwerfer there. Now is Rommel going to bother recrewing that, or is he just happy to leave that? And the King Tiger is coming in from the north, still not fully repaired. Ooh, the first round just bouncing off, and 2 rounds penetrating on the King Tiger. Make that 3. The Su-85 proving its worth there already, getting a couple of penetrating hits and up to half a level of veterancy, just off of 2 hits on the King Tiger. The IS-2 feeling confident enough to chase. It's going to get a squad of Storm Pioneers. Oh, but it's on target tank, so it's not gonna give them. That would have been a nice shot to take. I would have liked that. An infantry skirmish developing, but I'm going to try and follow the action of the tanks here, seeing as how that's a little bit more critical. Oof, that IS-2. Buddy, just chill out, take your time with your shots. And a grenade being used here. Unfortunately, a miss for Rommel. And the victory point's just beginning to dip under 100 here for the Soviet player. Really needs to figure out how to break this and make a move, because he's trading well. He's definitely playing well. I'd say in terms of the actual combat ability of the 2 players, they're both very well matched, but Rommel just able to get the upper hand in terms of which points he's holding. Oh my god, this quad 50 just committing to a fight here that I just would rather it didn't take, and a T-70 coming in kind of saved the day a little bit. And now's when we really start feeling the effect of the Soviet kind of superiority in numbers. If we just look at the top right and top left of the screen, Soviets here with like 2 weapon teams, 6 squads of infantry and 5 vehicles, versus the Overcommand who have like 6 squads of infantry and 1 vehicle and a construction truck, but I'm not going to count that for the purposes of combat units. So yeah, an interesting one. Able to re-establish the medical truck here so he can reinforce his squads. If the sr4czka was feeling like putting down a barrage here, that is going to be tasty, but its engine is damaged and it's on very low health. It's also sat facing fog of war. I don't like that at all. Scorpion needs to get that out and repair it. As the T-70 in jeopardy here, there should be one final Shrek shot to take it out, but no. If they keep chasing it though, he's going to lead them to the sr4czka, and that could be in jeopardy. The Quad 50 coming in to try and get some suppression on them at a good range, and an incendiary barrage used. He needs to get the sr4czka reversing! Oh no, the T-70 lays down its life. I think needlessly forced into a sort of panic situation here with Scorpion. Oh my god, and now he needs the sr4czka here because a barrage here would have just been almost game-breaking. Where's the King Tiger in all this? Oh dear, it's lost its main gun and is being repaired back at base. That's going to take a long time. Rommel needs that out on the field now as Scorpion makes a push to try and break the battle group headquarters. Conscripts flanking in, causing a mass fallback of the very veteran Volk squads. Indeed, one of them falling, down to just 3 Volk squads now. And crucially making a push to the north with 2 squads of conscripts, because all of this excellent combat is going to count for naught if Scorpion leads out on victory points, which he's down to 44 now. So that's a real thing. He doesn't even hold the one to the south, so no wonder he's bleeding out. He needs to send 1 infantry squad there. He's able to claim another truck. This is just a grievous wound being dealt. This is the kind of thing which keeps Overcommand down. This is the kind of thing that keeps them under control. This is the kind of thing Soviet players want to do. This Su-85 is in a terrible position here because it's going to have to rotate all the time. It's at point blank, yeah, he needs to get that back. Yeah, so okay, taking a victory point, so able to stabilize his score on a precarious 35 and taking the other one at the north. He just, basically, if he's going to commit to this location and not relocate to the north, he needs to keep on pressure, constant pressure from this point onwards. The sr4czka barrage coming in, but just a little bit too far back. The King Tiger already just getting pounded, the Su-85 and the IS-2 having none of that. What's the level 2 bonus? Elite cruise gain better control over the vehicle's main gun, improving targeting and weapon range, which is going to be pretty potent against the King Tiger. And things kind of looking dire for Rommel. He needs to just, he has no units on the map. All his units are in this tiny area of the minimap. When the Russian player is content to sledgehammer into that, this IS-2 is getting a bit too exposed though. Going in solo, able to get a crew shock. Brutal power as the Su-85 sniping in, getting its first star veterancy. That's a King Tiger that can't be there anymore. That's a King Tiger that needs to fall back and repair. And with his engineers already on the scene, Scorpion is poised to make the final sledgehammer blow here. I would feel so much better if he would just grab this victory point. Please grab it. And he's even got the Quad 50 here to reinforce. Come on, get these engineers to repair the Quad 50, buddy. That is a crucial part of your army here. It's almost worth it. What's his army supply at? 98. Okay, so he can't pick up this MG and start using it, because that would have been a cool pickup. Pick up this, recrew it with the Quad 50. Just keep the infantry back here, because the infantry at the moment are like a massive part of Rommel's army. And if we look at the top left and look at the top right, Rommel down to 4 combat units. Yeah, they're really good, but they're facing off against like 8, 12, 13 units for the Russians, and there is good veterancy on both sides here. So yeah, the veterancy advantage of the Overcommand not actually going to be enough to tip the tide. Not even close. The King Tiger coming out only on 2/3 of health. Rommel knows the situation is dire, but I don't like committing it on this level of health. It's so risky. The IS-2, I don't mind the chase here. I think if he gets a crew shock on the next shell... That is a King Tiger that's in jeopardy. The IS-2 totally justified to take the dive here. It's down on a pixel of health, using Combat Blitz to get the hell out. Is there going to be a final shell from the IS-2? There is not going to be, but he does just snipe one of the base defenses. The power on that tank. Oh wow, and Scorpion, knowing that the time is nigh, knowing that this is his moment to take a few fights. Rommel getting some infantry forces up to the victory points, knows that his way out of this game is to bleed Scorpion on the VPs, committing what few forces he has, and this really is like most of his army up here in a way, those squads of Volks, to just try and get the victory points. He's no fool, he knows how he has to win this game, and the sr4czka just... What is it doing? What are you doing, bro? Getting an incendiary barrage onto the HQ. Desperate repairs being made here, but it's not enough. Come on, just use the barrage. Don't even drive in, boy. Why are you driving in? Oh, I don't like that. Get out! Get out! And the Grenadiers at the north doing their best, the Volks Grenadiers, to try and maintain those victory points. And Scorpion is beginning to bleed out! No, he's not. Oh, this is close. This is a brutal, brutal defense. The King Tiger frantically being repaired. Oh, the Su-85 has it. And you've got to feel like this shot. Boom! This is going to be game now. The King is down. That leaves Rommel with 1 squad of Volks, 1 squad of Storm Pioneers, a Russian army camped in his base. Command over 1 victory point. He's not GGing yet because he knows with 29 victory points this could be it. But yeah, seeing this infantry coming from the south, knows he's not going to get this one, and GG's out of the game. So a very close and well fought battle between 2 players who are of a pretty high skill level. I really enjoyed that one, and I feel like I learned a lot about what Overcommand looks like when played at a higher level. So hopefully I'll be able to apply some of these lessons, particularly his early game munition spending. I found most educational because I just put mine on Shreks for my Volks and things, but it turns out I'm buying them way too early. Or at least I'm buying them way too early against most builds. I mean, there are times when that's the right thing to do, particularly if the Russians go Tech 1 and you've got scout cars up in your face and things, but when that's not the case, as per this game, yeah. And Scorpion, kind of, I'm going to say not quite a masterclass, but very educational, and really highlighting the value of the shock rifle frontline tactics commander. That is a commander which I am going to have to equip to my Soviet lineup, because it just brings a nice multifaceted package to the table, and having 3 different unit call-ins, and these unit call-ins for the Russians, for the Soviet team, make such a difference. Really plugging lines there, plugging holes in the lineup, and enabling you to move forward without really investing very much fuel in tech. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and yeah, this is Magpie 842 signing out.